A couple of days ago, I finished a new song and I was so excited that I had this amazing ideas for the script in my head. It was like so clear to me that I didn't even bother writing it down because like, whoa, the energy, I just felt like I could just talk and talk and talk and it would just come out and it would be super exciting. And then now I've forgotten everything that I wanted to say about how I made this song. So I'm basically trusting that if I turn on the camera and start talking, it's somehow gonna come back to me. I can feel something is lingering, like wants to come out, and I think it will. If you just listen to me talking about what I'm gonna talk about without knowing what I'm gonna talk about a little longer, I'm sure it's gonna be right there. I haven't had a haircut for a couple of months because, I mean, you know, I just tried to get my cat to be on the video because that would be really cute. I've never done anything like that, like having a pet in any of my videos, except that goat when I did the Nigeria vlog. That was more scary, that was not so cute. But my cat, she didn't want to join at all. Yeah, so here it is, it's coming back, oh my god. Oh, I lost it. It's so like fragile, you know, it's like almost there. Yeah, I lost it again. Fuck. So I made this video last time when I made a song about, like, showed you the process of how I made the solo, and it was super exciting to talk about my process and just film it, and I had a really great time with that. So I wanted to do something similar for this song, and I felt like I was really in a flow with it. So I started out, I had this idea that I wanted to compose arpeggios, because I did that a couple of songs ago, working in the synthesizer in the computer, like writing arpeggios note by note, and that was really fun. So now I thought, like, why don't I use like my main instrument, the piano, to actually write it physically with a real instrument, which I'm kind of used to, but like writing an arpeggio is not something that I've really done with the piano. So that was an exciting thought, and I said to myself that I would write like 3 different... Anyways, I filmed this. I filmed it. I had like 1 hour of filming when I wrote this arpeggio. I have this idea these days that I want to do things, remake them a lot. So instead of just making 1 arpeggio for 1 part, I wanted to make 3 and then really choose the best one. I'll choose the one that I was most excited about. So I filmed the first one and then I made 2 more, and it was really like so much work. This was like 2 weeks ago. I had to work so hard because it was really difficult to remember all these notes, because there was quite complicated. In the computer you can just remember each note, but then there it was like, oh. So I wrote these 3 arpeggios. I thought the video would be about that, like how I wrote that arpeggio, but then the thing is, this song has been like such a crazy long journey. That thing that I thought would be like the main thing about the song was like the first step out of like 20. So I'm gonna play you the song soon, so you'll hear it, and then afterwards I'll talk more about like the steps that I did, how I did all the work in the computer, which I think turned out to be the most exciting part for me. Anyways, I wrote 3 different arpeggios. It was a really great experience to write it on the piano and to force myself to remember it. It made it feel a whole lot different from when I write it in the computer. I felt a lot more connected to all of it because I had to constantly repeat it from the start so I could actually remember it and play it. It's like really felt like I challenged my brain to both remember, try multiple alternatives for each note. Like I wanted to take 3 notes at a time, but like no, I just taking 1 note at a time. And doing that with like 3 parts for a song and not even thinking that I was gonna use it for a song. It's so liberating to feel like I'm just making a lot of music. I don't have to use this for anything. I'm just exploring making arpeggios, and I don't know where it's gonna lead, but maybe some of this is gonna be useful. I don't think I've ever allowed myself such space to dive into something, into a concept that I'm working with, and spread it out completely on the table and just like look at a lot of different options before I move on. The whole process has been like that, like working really focused towards finishing the song. Like there's no doubt that I'm not gonna finish the song. Like I never have that feeling like I used to have, where I'd be like, I'd make an idea and then leave it. It's like I know I'm heading on the path towards finishing the song, but at the same time it's totally like this chilled, open journey where I'm in no rush to get anywhere. I'm really happy about that balance right now. It feels like just this experimenting space, just takes me on this journey. Anyways, then the next step was that I wanted to write melodies for these arpeggios. I had this idea that I wanted to explore writing melodies with as few notes as possible, preferably just one note throughout the whole part. There's this one song by Big Thief called Paul. There's not just one note, but there's mostly one note. I really love it, and I was curious to see if I could make something like that. I tried doing it over all these 3 arpeggios that I wrote, and it totally didn't work. But I was still interested to like play this and trying to sing this note, which kind of got a bit like clashing with the harmonies a lot. That was still interesting for my ears, an interesting exploration. Then so I realized, okay, let me try some other ways of writing melodies. So I wrote one melody for the first arpeggio, then I wrote one new melody for the last arpeggio, and with this one I kind of mixed in everything in that melody. I tried to pick the starting notes or the chord notes for the melody notes, so I tried to use like a major 7 on a minor flat 6 chord, which really broke my ears. I couldn't make sense out of it, like I completely couldn't sing it, so it sounded like but something was super exciting about it, and I just couldn't let it go, so I kept it. And I kept working like that, and I kept finding I wanted to include an octave. I mean, I ended up with this thing that I really couldn't sing, but I loved it. There's something in it that really just hit me. So I think this is a good time to play the song for you, because there's a lot of stuff happening that won't really make sense. Everything I've talked about so far is kind of in the background. You can barely even hear that arpeggio that I ended up with, I feel. But it's still such an important element for me in the song. Like, that's still what the song is to me. Like, if I would play it live, I would be playing that arpeggio and sing the melody. Oh yeah, and the lyrics. How could I forget the lyrics? The lyrics. So I have a few songwriting students, and for one of them, I needed to come up with a task for her to write some lyrics. And I thought about like, what would be the most stupid way of forcing her to write lyrics. And then I said, well, every third word has to start with P. And I thought, that's completely silly. That's a terrible idea. She got really excited when I told her, and she said like, oh yeah, then I'm gonna start writing a list with all the words starting with P that I know. So I thought I would try it myself. And it brought this new perspective on how I can write lyrics. I turned out to write something, it felt more poetic or more abstract in some poetic way that I've never really thought. For me, it was like, it made me feel more free about how I can write my lyrics. And also just, oh wow, I can just set up these stupid rules for myself and just complete them, and something new will happen. So that was that. So I'm gonna wrap up outside. Some of the golden hour light is passing by here, so we gotta head on inside where the lighting is terrible. I'll show you in the program how I did some of the stuff for this song. But first, let's listen to the song. Piano, plum, piers, pete. Not so perfect. Pissed off. Answer paper palpitations. Pro-pink propaganda. Pro-pink propaganda. That's the song. Let me try to explain how this came about. So what I started doing was recording this arpeggio that I chose on the piano. I just set up the mics and recorded it. I recorded my vocals to it like bit by bit because the melody was so hard that I couldn't sing it. And then it was like, this is pretty boring. Where is this gonna go? What can I do with this? I wasn't super inspired by then, so I was just like, let me try reverse the piano. For each chord, I reversed the piano. So I cut up the piano here. You can see I cut it up here, each chord kind of, and then I reversed that part, and then I changed the pitch of that in each clip. And I really love this sound, especially when it comes in the end here. It's like it somehow sounds like violins or like a symphony orchestra playing something really beautiful. And I just octaved the piano up as well. And I tried a lot of different things to kind of get a background sound that I liked, and I didn't really like it much at first. So then I did what I have been doing. I kind of went into this process, which has been fairly similar in a way with all the songs that I've been making lately, although the content of the process is entirely different. I tend to like record one vocal phrase at a time and figure out how I want to sing those words, and figure out if I want any voices, like any second or third voices to those. From there, really trying to figure out like bar by bar, making sure that I liked one bar at the time. A lot of the times that meant I had to like make a break and push forward all the notes. Like here, when I first played a song, I thought this break here was not there initially, so I just felt like the melody needed to breathe a bit more, so I moved forward everything a couple of bars, and then I just figured out what was gonna happen in those two bars, trying to make something happen there. And I kept working like that, like making one bar at a time, make it work in any way I could find. And it's like a really survival mode kind of thing. Just gotta make this thing work, and it's like a crazy puzzle where you just go... Oh, it's hard to explain. It's like you work frenetically to just like, I need to make this one bar work. And I love that process. It's really exciting to come into that zone. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it at all. Let me try explain what it could be that I did. So adding second voices could be one thing. Second and third, or maybe fourth or fifth voices to that little part of the melody could be something I could do to really feel like I could connect with it. Pretty early on, I added this bass note. And now it doesn't sound like a bass note anymore because I can play you this one probably. Yeah, I added this bass note, and that was like, it went throughout the whole, like, throughout the whole song. So I kind of used that idea of, you know, I said I wanted to make a melody with just one note. So I kind of stole that idea and decided to try to make this one synth note work throughout the whole song. So initially that was like, I kept it there. Then I started taking that out in some of these breaks because I felt like I really wanted that breathing space still. Okay, so, and then what I did, what the big kind of discovery with this song, what that was about for me, or the big new thing about producing this song was that I knew about this function for a long time. I was just too lazy to actually try it out. And that was to take a track, say this track here, and record, instead of choosing the input from my audio device, I could have the input to be another track. I mean, I'm sure you all know about this. Then you can like change a lot of parameters, and then they record the way I changed that in real time to the next track. So, I mean, I was just like moving around all these parameters on this track, and it recorded everything I was doing onto this track. I worked worked with that a lot in this song, and that's basically how I made all these effects. Throughout the whole song, I tried to stick pretty tightly to just a few different parameters. I didn't just like try anything. Like there was a point when I just like, what's gonna happen now? And I tried a completely new effect that I hadn't used before, and it just didn't feel right. Like I felt like I needed to minimize the amount of different effects that I was playing around with, because the playing around that I did was really crazy. So if I would have used just like a new effect, a new effect, a new effect, a new effect, I felt like it would have been just too chaotic. So I stuck to some of them. Well, the first one I think I stumbled into, that was for the intro. I used the reverb, the Valhalla reverb. So this is a noise track, that's where I just recorded a lot of the noise stuff. So what I did, I used this. You see, when I move this, it makes this. So I kind of just played with that as if it was my instrument, moving it up and down. I think I actually, for the first time, also made this knob here control it, which was really fun. And then the other effect was this called erosion. Cat! Come on, come on, come on, come on, join the video! Join the video, Cat! No. She was not excited. She's like usually so excited about everything. Where I am in it, she wants to be in it too. Zorre, come. Yeah, come back, yeah! No, I think she's a bit scared of me now. God, she's gonna... No, don't kill me. Hey, That's so cute. She might come back later, she said. So yeah, the second effect I was using was this thing called erosion. And basically, so if we take this voice here and then put the erosion and then piano. So there's some different, I think I used all these three, but mostly I used this noise. Piano. This kind of thing is what I recorded onto another track. Not so much on the voice, but here there's definitely some of it. And then you can hear, I also changed the size of the reverb, or the size and the piano. The length as well, so I've moved around on all these parameters. I'm trying to talk really quickly, not at all because I want the video to be short, but it's because I want to pee. When I finish the video before I pee, because that means I'll talk faster, which will make it a better video. What I did a lot, it feels silly when I do it, like super silly, so that's probably why I'm doing it at the end of the day. It feels really amateurish, but I enjoy it so much that I just can't stop it. And that's to play around a lot with just changing the pitch of everything a lot I do here. That's like incredibly fun, and I use it a lot on like the vocals. Like here, there's like there's a higher voice there. That is just a pitched up voice. So I pitched up that track, moved it to another track, and then recorded that to another track with some effect on it. I think the most exciting thing, instead of automating parameters on the track and having it automated on that track, to rather record another track, it's just so exciting not to be able to change it. Like, it's written in a new audio track and you can't change it. There's just something really exciting about not having the option of regretting what you do. It's liberating. It's like takes a weight off your shoulders. And when you're doing it, when you're playing with these parameters the first time, that what is happening in real time, it's not changeable. I mean, and the improviser in me just loves that. It just makes me feel spontaneous and direct. And it's kind of scary in an exciting way, like that you can't change it. I think that uncertainty of it excites me. So something really sad happened. The card got full on my Zoom recorder, which is recording the audio from this mic that I'm pretending to talk in right now. Oh look, there's a fly! No, that was boring. That was not fun at all. I'm too much in a need to pee to go empty this card and then come back and start again. BAM! We fixed it! It's a long, complicated story. It's such a happy day. My cat came. I think the last thing I wanted to show you was this outro. So I kind of finished the song with this. And I felt like, maybe this should go somewhere else. From the start of the song, I felt like, maybe I should have a drum beat for this song. But then at the end, I realized it doesn't need a drum beat. But then, wait, it could come here in the end. That's like an outro or something. So I got this set of samples that are recorded in my kitchen for the previous song that I made. I'm using the same set of samples. There's a lot of samples that I put in this drum rack here. And then I started playing around with some of these. And it's really funny because there's like some kind of weird bug that no one else has any issue with. So I don't know how to solve it. My keyboard here is not playing the notes that it's supposed to play, so I can't control which sounds that it's actually gonna trigger, which is like super random, which is really fun. I started just playing around with a drum beat, and when I was looking for this drum kit in the drum racks folder, I found something else in the drum racks folder. A set of piano chords. They're recorded for my friend Ransby, who has this amazing YouTube channel, and I've basically learned everything from him, including these techniques that I'm talking about right now. So if you want to learn anything in life, go check it out. I made this video for how to write some piano chords that you can sample and start to play around with. And I sent him the piano chords, so I downloaded that sample pack from his video, and these are the chords. So if we listen to, so this is basically me like having one chord on each note here, so I could just like and that was super fun to like jam along with the drum beat that I just made. And then I wanted to re-record all the tracks to another track. I did that with the drums, but I used the transpose button. It's already applied here, but if I do it again, it's gonna sound like. So it kind of sounds like a filter, but it's not a filter, I'm just transposing it. So I tried to explain a little bit about what I was doing in this song. It's a great lesson for me to just talk about it and try to figure out what I'm doing. Just this wonder, this process of just throwing myself into this, and I have no idea how to do any of these things I'm doing. I don't know, and then it just like works out. I'm crawling my way out of there somewhere. It's really fucking nice to just trust that I can throw myself into that deep water and just like, I'm gonna get somewhere. This video could have been a lot better if I would have written down all these ideas I had 2 days ago, but I think I covered most of it. My cat and the pee. I promised myself that I'm gonna start releasing a YouTube video every Tuesday for the whole next 12 months. I'm also gonna live stream on my Twitch every Monday morning. I'm gonna sing my songs on live stream. That's super mega scary. Let me know if you have any questions, if you have any ideas for how you want me to make these videos, if you want me to talk less or more about cats, if you have any techniques for how I can get my cat to be more in the video. I feel so good just sitting here talking, like feeling like I like the attention I'm getting. If you want more of me talking to you, then you can hit the subscribe button and like and share this video. Share it, send it to your friends and tell them, hey, here's this guy making music and he is fucking rocking it. That would make me really happy. Let's all be more stupid. I mean, not be more stupid, but like do more stupid things. It's so exciting to be alive. Oops. Good night and have fun in the night. Come out here. It's better lighting here. You will look better. No, come on. I want this. Why can't we do something I want sometime? Come on! Come on! Don't be such an old cat. It's a YouTube channel. Come on.